Listen to me. Every single morning you wake up, you have a choice. You can roll over, hit that snooze button, and let the day own you, or you can stand up, face the mirror, and tell yourself, today, I'm not waiting for the world to change. I'm changing my world. I'm not standing here because I was the smartest, the fastest, or the luckiest. I'm here because I showed up every single day. Even when I didn't feel like it, even when no one was clapping, even when the door slammed in my face. You want to change your life? Then stop waiting for the perfect time. There's no perfect time. The perfect time is now. You've got to push through the noise, through the doubt, through the pain, and keep moving. This isn't about talent. It's about discipline. It's about faith. It's about refusing to quit. And if you can do that, I promise you, you will change your life. You know, people see the awards, the movies, the headlines, but they don't see the mornings when I didn't want to get out of bed. They don't see the nights when I was rehearsing lines alone in my apartment, hungry, tired, and wondering if this was even worth it. They don't see the jobs I didn't get, the auditions where I walked out, had given everything and still heard nothing back. That's the truth about success. It's not built on talent alone. It's built on discipline. I learned early that discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. You can have the biggest dream in the world. You can talk about it every day. You can tell everybody how much you want it. But if you're not willing to show up every day, even on the days you don't feel like it, it's never going to happen. Discipline means you put in the work when no one's watching. It means you keep your word to yourself. It means you do it when you're tired, when you're bored, when you're uninspired. See, talent will get you noticed, but discipline will keep you in the room. I've worked with some of the most talented people in this industry, and I've seen them disappear because they didn't have the discipline to keep showing up, to keep learning, to keep improving. I wasn't the most talented actor when I started, not even close. But I was willing to work harder, to study longer, to prepare more than anyone else. That's what made the difference. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And just like with your body, if you stop working it, it gets weaker. There were days when I had to drag myself to rehearsals. Days when I had to read a script for the 10th time until I understood every single layer of it. Days when I didn't get the role, but I kept training like I did. That's the secret. You don't only work when the opportunity is in front of you. You work so that when the opportunity comes, you're ready. I remember my first major break. People called it luck. They didn't know about the years of discipline that came before that moment. They didn't know about the nights I spent memorizing monologues until 2 in the morning. They didn't know about the sacrifices, missing family events, saying no to parties, spending my last dollars on acting classes instead of new clothes. That wasn't luck. That was discipline preparing me for the moment when opportunity knocked. Here's the truth. Discipline isn't glamorous. No one is clapping for you at 5 in the morning when you're up working on your craft. No one's patting you on the back when you say no to distractions. Discipline is lonely, but it's also what separates the people who could have been from the people who are. And let me tell you something. Discipline doesn't just change your career, it changes your life. It teaches you patience. It teaches you self-control. It teaches you how to stay calm under pressure, how to keep moving forward, even when everything around you is falling apart. I've been on sets where nothing was going right, and if I didn't have the discipline to keep my head straight, I could have lost everything. Discipline is making a choice every day to do the hard thing now, so you can have the reward later. It's telling yourself, I'm going to do this whether I feel like it or not. That's how you win. Not with shortcuts, not with luck, but with consistent, focused effort over time. People ask me, Denzel, what's the key to making it? I tell them, the key is to keep showing up, no matter what. So if you want to change your life, start with discipline. Make your bed in the morning. Keep your promises to yourself. Finish what you start. Stop waiting for motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline will carry you through. Build that muscle every day, because when you have discipline, nothing and no one can stop you from reaching your dream. Faith over fear. That's not just a nice phrase for me. That's the foundation of my life. I've seen what fear does to people. It shrinks them. It stops them from even trying. It convinces them that the unknown is a monster waiting to swallow them whole. But faith tells you the unknown is just undiscovered opportunity. And I didn't learn that from books or theories. I learned it by walking into rooms where I didn't belong, by standing on stages I wasn't qualified to stand on, by saying yes to things that scared me to death. I've been broke. I've been rejected. I've been told I wasn't the right fit, wasn't the right look, wasn't the right anything. But I kept going because there was something bigger than me guiding my steps. When I was younger, I didn't have the answers. I didn't know how the path was going to unfold. But I knew that if I allowed fear to dictate my choices, I'd never get anywhere worth going. Fear will keep you standing still, but faith will push you into motion. And sometimes that motion doesn't make sense in the moment. It's a leap into darkness. That's the beauty of faith. You don't see the whole staircase, but you take the first step anyway. Every role I've taken, every film I've done, every challenge I've faced, it was a step taken with faith first. People think courage is the absence of fear. It's not. I've been afraid many times. I've been nervous walking on a set. I've been unsure about whether I could pull something off. The difference is, I didn't let fear make the decision for me. I let faith make the decision. Faith whispers, go. When fear screams, stop. And if you've ever been in a place where your back's against the wall, you know exactly what I mean. In those moments, fear will give you 1,000 reasons why you should quit. Faith will give you one reason to keep going, and that's enough. I remember times when I didn't have work lined up, when the phone wasn't ringing, when people doubted my career. Fear tried to tell me I was finished. But I prayed, and opportunity showed up, sometimes in the most unexpected ways. That's how faith works. It's not about having all the evidence in front of you. It's about trusting the process, even when the evidence says you're losing. It's about believing the seeds you've planted will grow, even if they're still underground, and you can't see a thing yet. Fear is comfortable. It's predictable. It's safe. It'll keep you in the same place year after year because it convinces you that moving forward is dangerous. But faith requires you to get uncomfortable. It tells you to pack your bags when you don't even know the destination. It tells you to prepare for something you haven't seen yet. And when you take that risk, when you step out on that invisible bridge, you start to realize that the bridge was there all along. It just wouldn't appear until you moved. I've seen doors open that I couldn't have opened myself. I've seen moments up perfectly, almost like they were scripted by a higher hand. I've walked through seasons where nothing made sense until I looked back and realized it was all leading me exactly where I needed to be. Faith gives you that kind of perspective. Fear will always demand proof before you act. But faith says act, and the proof will come later. There's a peace that comes with living by faith. Because once you trust that there's a plan for you, you stop obsessing over every detail. You stop worrying about how it will all work out. You focus on showing up, doing your part, and letting God handle the rest. That doesn't mean you sit back and wait for miracles to drop in your lap. Faith without work is dead. You still have to put in the hours, sharpen your skills, make the calls, knock on the doors. But you move with confidence instead of panic. I'm telling you, I've lived long enough to know this. Fear will rob you, but faith will reward you. Fear will have you standing outside the room, looking through the window, watching someone else live the life you could have had. Faith will have you walking through that door like you were meant to be there. And maybe you don't feel ready. Maybe your hands are shaking. Maybe your voice cracks. But you're in the room. And once you're in the room, you have a chance to show the world what you can do. I'm not here because I never had fear. I'm here because I chose faith every single time fear tried to hold me back. And if you want to change your life, you have to make that same choice. Not once, not twice, but every single day. Because faith isn't a one-time decision. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of thinking, a way of moving, a way of trusting. And if you live it, I promise you this, your life will change in ways you never imagined. Big. That's the only way I know how to tell it to you. People will tell you to play it safe, to take the easy road, to stick to what you know. But I can tell you right now, if you want to do something that really matters, you have to be willing to fall flat on your face. I've done it. I've been rejected. I've been told no more times than I can count. I've auditioned for roles and walked out knowing I didn't get it. I've taken risks that didn't pay off the way I thought they would. But every one of those moments shaped me. They carved out the person you see standing here today. If you avoid failure and if you avoid growth, you avoid greatness. When I was younger, I thought success was about winning every time. I thought you had to be perfect, that you had to have all the answers. But life taught me quick that perfection is a myth. The truth is, the road to success is paved with mistakes, detours, and dead ends. And those failures are not the end of the road. They're part of the road. They're the stepping stones. Without them, you don't get to the top. Without them, you don't learn who you really are. Every time I failed, I learned something about myself. I learned where my limits were, and I learned how to push past them. I've taken roles that scared me, projects where I didn't know if I could pull it off. And I've taken hits for it, but I would rather fail trying something great than succeed doing something safe. There's no glory in standing still. There's no growth in comfort. The people who make history are the ones who take the leap, even when they're not sure where they'll land. You can't tiptoe into greatness. You have to jump. And let me tell you something the world will notice when you fail. They'll talk. They'll criticize. They'll tell you that you should have known better. But those same people will be the ones watching when you get back up and try again. They'll be the ones inspired when you turn your setback into a comeback. Because failure isn't permanent unless you make it permanent. The only time failure wins is when you stop moving forward. Every no I've heard push me toward a yes I didn't see coming. Every door that closed forced me to find another one, sometimes one I didn't even know existed. That's how life works. Failure forces you to think differently. It forces you to adapt, to grow, to sharpen your skills. If you never fall, you never learn how to stand tall. If you never lose, you never learn how to win. I've seen talented people fade away because they were afraid to take a chance. I've also seen people with less talent, but more courage rise to the top because they were willing to take that shot. I'll take courage over comfort any day Because courage will carry you through the storm, comfort will keep you stuck in the harbor, and ships aren't built to sit in the harbor. They're built to sail even when the waves get rough. When I look back on my life, I don't remember the times I played it safe. I remember the times I went for it when I put everything on the line. Some of those moments brought me victory. Others brought me lessons. But every single one brought me forward. That's the secret. Keep moving forward no matter what. You're going to fail. You're going to fall. You're going to have moments where you doubt yourself. That's normal. But don't let it stop you. So I say again, fail big. If you're going to fall, fall forward. Learn from it. Use it. Let it fuel you. The greatest stories you'll ever tell won't be about your easy wins. They'll be about the battles you fought, the mountains you climbed, and the failures you turned into stepping stones. That's where your character is built. That's where your greatness is forged. And that's the life worth living. I learned a long time ago that life is not just about what you give. You can have the awards, the fame, the money, the applause. But if you're not using what you've been given to make someone else's path a little smoother, then you've missed the point. I'm standing here today because people I didn't even know were willing to lift me when I couldn't see over the wall in front of me. Teachers, friends, mentors, even strangers. They poured into me when I had nothing to offer them back. And that taught me something. It taught me that real success isn't measured by the size of your house or your bank account. It's measured by the size of the difference you make in someone else's life. I've met people who had nothing in terms of material possessions, but were rich in spirit because they gave without hesitation. That's a richness the world can't take from you. Service isn't about writing a big check or making a grand gesture for the cameras. It's about what you do when no one is watching. It's about the time you spend listening to someone who feels unheard, the encouragement you give to a young person who's ready to quit, the opportunities you create for someone who's been told their whole life that they can't. Those moments matter more than anything else you'll ever achieve. When I look back at my journey, I can see the faces of those who helped me without asking for anything in return. And now I try to be that for others, not because it's expected, but because it's right. When you've been blessed, you don't hold those blessings tight to your chest like they're yours to keep forever. You open your hands, you let them flow through you, and you trust that the more you give, the more you'll grow. Some people think giving will make them lose something, like they'll end up with less if they share their time, resources, or knowledge. But here's the truth. The more you give, the richer your life becomes. You start to see the world differently. You start to understand that we are all connected, and lifting someone else doesn't lower you. It elevates both of you. Can't take any of this stuff with you when your time here is over. The only thing that will outlast you is the impact you've made on others. That's your real legacy. I've been in rooms where the lights are bright, the crowd is cheering, and the cameras are rolling. But some of the most powerful moments of my life didn't happen on a stage or in front of a camera. They happened in quiet conversations, in mentorship sessions, in moments when someone's eyes lit up because they realized they could be more than they believed. You can't put a price on that. That's the kind of wealth I want to leave behind. So I live by a simple principle: to serve before self. That means my decisions aren't just about what benefits me, but what benefits the people around me. It means I don't measure success by how high I climb, but by how many people I bring with me. It means I see my platform not as a throne, but as a bridge. And I want that bridge to be strong enough for others to cross. If you've been given a gift, and we all have, you have a responsibility to use it for more than yourself. Maybe your gift is your voice, your creativity, your ability to organize, to lead, to comfort, to inspire. Whatever it is, use it. Don't let it collect dust, because you're waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is when someone needs you, and that moment could be right now. I'm not saying it's always easy. Sometimes giving means you're tired, you're stretched, you're inconvenienced. But that's what makes it meaningful. If it cost you nothing, it probably didn't mean much. The truth is, we're all going to leave this earth one day, and when that day comes, nobody's going to read off your bank statements or list your possessions. They're going to talk about how you made them feel, how you helped them, how you inspired them to keep going when they wanted to quit. That's the kind of story I want told about me. Not that I was the best actor or that I won awards, but that I used my time, my talent, and my blessings to serve. That I made someone else believe in themselves. That I left the world a better than I found it. Because in the end, that's what it's all about. Serving others, lifting others, giving back. That's where the real victory is. And that's the life worth living. When people ask me about success, I tell them straight, it's not about one big break. It's about showing up over and over again. Consistency is what built my career, my reputation, my life. Anybody can have a great day. Anybody can have a moment when they shine. But that's not what creates a legacy. A legacy is built in the quiet days, the unnoticed hours, the times you do the work, when no one is looking, when no one is cheering, when you're tired, and you still get up and do it anyway. I've been in this business for decades, and I didn't get here because I was perfect. I got here because I refused to disappear. I refused to fade away when it got hard. I remember the early days when I couldn't even get an audition, when I was told, you're not the right type, or this part isn't for you. That could have been the end. I could have packed it in, gone home, and told myself it just wasn't meant to be. But that's the easy way out. And easy will never give you something worth keeping. You can't be one of those people who works hard for a week and quits because they don't see results. Success is like planting a seed. You water it every day. You protect it from storms, and you wait. Sometimes you wait a long time before you see anything grow. But if you stop watering it, it dies. That's how dreams work. There were movies I did that didn't get attention. There were performances I gave that people didn't understand. There were moments I felt like the world wasn't paying attention, but I didn't change my standard just because the crowd wasn't clapping. You can't build your life around applause. You build it around commitment. If you only work when someone's watching, you'll never last. My work ethic doesn't switch off just because the spotlight isn't on me. I do it because it's who I am, and that's why I've been able to stand in this industry for so long. The truth is, consistency is harder than talent. Talent is a gift, but consistency is a choice you have to make every single day. You have to decide that you're going to do what needs to be done whether you feel like it or not. And the reason most people don't make it isn't because they lack ability. It's because they lack the discipline to keep going when the excitement wears off. The excitement is easy. The grind is where people fall off. I've learned that every time you show up, you're not just building your career, you're building your character. You're proving to yourself that you can be relied on, even by you. There's a certain kind of power in knowing that you can trust yourself to follow through. That's the real confidence. Not the confidence that comes from one win, but the kind that comes from knowing you can face 100 losses and still keep swinging. That's what consistency gives you. People sometimes ask me, Denzel, what's your secret? There's no secret. I just don't stop. That's it. I don't stop learning. I don't stop improving. I don't stop showing up. It doesn't matter if I've done 50 films. I prepare like it's my first. Because the moment you think you've arrived, you start slipping. I never want to be that man. I want to walk off every set, every stage, every opportunity knowing I gave it the same effort I gave when I had everything to prove. And here's the thing. Consistency isn't glamorous. It's not exciting to the outside world. It's early mornings, late nights, the same routine, the same focus, the same drive. But over time, it builds something unshakable. You become undeniable. People can overlook you for a while, but they can't ignore you forever if you keep showing up. Eventually, the work speaks so loudly, no one can pretend they don't see you. If I've learned anything, it's this: your legacy isn't built in the moments when the world is watching. It's built in the moments when you think no one cares. But every time you choose to show up, you're writing your story. And when you look back years later, you'll realize it wasn't luck that got you there. It wasn't one big break. It was the 1,000 little choices you made to keep going. That's how you build something that lasts. That's how you create a life that can't be erased. And that's how, one day, they'll remember your name long after you're gone.